And we are live.
Good evening, Ketchikan and friends worldwide. This is the annual meeting of the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition. I'm Charlotte Glover, the Vice President of the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition Board, in place of
Diane Kubatayo,
who's not here this evening, and she's sends her greetings. And anyway, I'm happy to be in her place this evening. And so we need to have a call to order here, bring our meeting to a start, and welcome you all both live and virtually, and get started on this evening, Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. It's been an exciting year. We have a lot to tell you, so we can't wait to get started. And first off, we need to do introductions of the board. We've got most of our board here. One is joining us virtually. Again, I'm Charlotte Glover. We've got Daryl Nichols in attendance, Grant Echo Hawk, Austin Odos.
I will.
She's going to turn around here. Abby Stevenson. And joining on Facebook, we've got Soon Young Kim and Misha Chernick. So welcome to everyone. And we are very happy to have you here this evening. We're going to be electing new governing board members, and we've got two candidates here this evening, Danny Pratt and Chris Flora. So looking forward to having them join us.
Do we need to do a vote?
And so if we're ready to do that vote, we can go ahead and take a vote. I'm not sure how that works. For the new board members?
Yeah, for the new board members. So any member, this is including if a member's on, I'll say it here. If a member is on Facebook and they would like to have a vote, all members of the coalition have a vote to approve board members. So anybody here that is a board member, that is a member of the coalition, and those are on Facebook land, you can vote yay or nay for the two candidates. So, and then so just maybe start with one and then vote in.
We don't have to make a motion though. We're not having a meeting. So would someone like to make a motion to approve the candidacy of Danny Pratt?
So moved.
Okay, and seconded?
Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And the vote carries. All right. And would someone like to make a motion to approve the board candidacy of Chris Flora? Daryl, and seconded? Okay. And all in favor? Aye. So the ayes have it. None of any opposed? And so that is easy, and welcome to the board. We appreciate your willingness to serve, and hope that you'll be as engaged and interested in all the activities that we've been doing this past year and have more to come. So lots and lots going on.
Yay!
Yay!
All right, the governing board is going to convene this evening for an annual report and a brief business meeting. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. I am Romanda Simpson, Executive Director of the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition. Super excited to welcome you to our annual general meeting, especially because we had this all planned out last year and 10 days before we got to stay home instead. So this year we have the great Abby Stevenson behind the camera, who's going to pop up. She's doing such a great job of getting us online. Thank goodness for technology where we can engage with everybody. Tonight we're going to hear from all of the task forces on what's been going on in the last year and what are some really exciting things coming up for this year. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of history and kind of who Ketchikan Wellness Coalition is, just to remind everybody. Our mission is to promote community wellness through assessment and action. And our vision is a healthy and vibrant community where people choose to live here. I choose. I'm here. Our core values. Oh, I'm so sorry. Before we continue on, I really wanted to make sure we did a land acknowledgement tonight as part of our process. So Ketchikan Wellness Coalition would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are on the ancestral and traditional lands of the Tongass Tlingit people. am super excited to continue partnering with these wonderful individuals that to continue using the land that we live on, and I'm especially excited about some of the community gardens that we're going to hopefully be doing some traditional gardens soon as well. Okay, so what did we do? We have core values of inclusive, collaborative, evidence-based, we stand with integrity, diversity, and sustainability. So those are the core values that do everything, follow everything that we do. And as an umbrella organization, we aim to build the capacity of our community and leverage the resources and assets that we have for greatest impact. And the impact that we're looking to have is on the 8 dimensions of wellness. So for those that may not be that familiar, I created a little slide. Sorry you can't see the top one. This is actually what is like from our logo is based off of these 8 dimensions of wellness. So the top one is social, intellectual, financial, environmental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and occupational. And our goal as an organization is to foster wellness within all 8 dimensions. The next question I often get asked is, what is a coalition? So what does that actually mean? What do we do? How does that work? And really a coalition is a diverse group of individuals, organizations, local governments, businesses, anybody who joins together to really achieve a common goal and bring to the group their human assets, so their individual assets, as well as other resources like such as materials or finances to create lasting change in a positive way. So that's who we are as an organization, and I love working here, and I'm super excited for what we're doing and what we're bringing to Ketchikan. And so I'm just going to share a couple organizational highlights, and then we'll dive into each task force's highlights. So 2020 was the year that everybody knows changed, and we pivoted just along with all of our partner agencies and our community members as well. And really we were able to change our direction a little bit. We went online a lot more. We were able to provide resources at a time, especially at the beginning of COVID. We updated a daily resource because there was so much information coming in, and opportunities for accessing services and supports. So we were at the forefront of making sure people knew how they could get help. It's no longer being updated on a regular basis, but we do have some exciting news from another task force where we are still supporting resource access in our community. We launched a volunteer registry in partnership with WISH, and while that didn't go the way we thought it would go with a lot of activity, it did give us some feedback on a future program for volunteering. We also partnered with WISH for a community COVID impact survey. Excuse me, I'm pregnant, so if I burp, my apologies. And this impact survey was able to identify the key areas of need in our community at the height of the COVID pandemic, and we were able to respond. And then, for those of you that got to participate, the Ketchikan Goose Chase. That was our first annual fundraiser called Ketchikan Goose Chase, where we had over 200 individuals participate. There was multiple teams, lots of family teams. The competition was like hot. So much fun, going around town, doing lots of different activities in a scavenger hunt. We're very excited about the 2021 scavenger hunt this year, again called Ketchikan Goose Chase, and it's the 2021 version, so keep your eyes peeled for mid-July. We also did a community health needs assessment, which we conducted in the fall, and it's identified some of the key priority needs in our community that we're working with our partners on to respond to. Coalition work is really based on partnerships, and so we really wanted to thank all of those organizations and individuals that we've partnered with throughout the whole year. There's too many to list, I'm not going to listen tonight, but we do express a deep thanks and a deep gratitude for their willingness to partner with us on making Ketchikan a great place. So, on to the amazing task forces that we are. So what's a task force? It's a mini coalition. It's a group of individuals that target one specific wellness issue and work to achieve positive change. So tonight I'm going to be introducing each one, and they'll be presenting to you some of the highlights from last year, and some of what they're working on this coming year. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Kristen Van de Geer, who is our Behavioral Health Program Coordinator, up to the front to talk about the Behavioral Health Task Force.
Hi, everyone.
Yay!
How are you doing? Okay, so I'm Kristen. I am new to KWC as the Behavioral Health Program Coordinator. I was actually not here in 2020, but I'm happy to report and honored to report on the work that my predecessor, Shanetta Nielsen, and her task force did throughout 2020. It's really an impressive list. I'm going to try and be concise, which is challenging for me sometimes. So just specifics about our task force. Our mission is to decrease stigma associated with depression and mental illness. And the strategies that were identified for last year were specifically mental health first aid, media and community conversations, and also the development of the Navigator Ketchikan 123 program, which I'll mention later. So 2020, the task force, COVID hit us hard. It's going to be a repeated echo, I think, throughout this evening's presentation, excuse me. So, however, Romanda already mentioned some of the COVID resource allocation and collaboration and collection that we were able to do, that much of which was spearheaded by the Behavioral Health Task Force. So specifically, some of those included the start of our KWC YouTube channel, which still exists. The videos are still up there with COVID-specific mental health support, mindfulness and wellness support, and also pushing the hashtag KetchikanStrong. We used other media sources like our Facebook page, radio shows, newspaper articles, our website, also to share those COVID-specific resources. Worked with community partners, again, that Romanda mentioned, to identify gaps in service, support access to those mental health resources as was possible. And then also a big thing was to help identify food pantries and food donation resources for those in our community who were in need. Major projects tackled last year included the You Matter road signs. So I think there's still some of those that are up around town. I know those, as I've met different community members, those are the first thing that people bring up, and a beloved project. We also funded the art installation, The Shaping Peace Together, that was a collaboration and collection of youth and adult designed peace flags that was put up at K-High, I believe is still up at the library, although I'm sure that the Facebook universe will correct me if I'm wrong. Again, Romanda mentioned our community resource guides. These, I think, have been around for a few years. Hundreds of these were distributed last year to people in need. This is an incredible collaboration of resources. These are still available in print. They get updated frequently, reprinted about once a year. Also, again, I'll mention this a little bit later, we are in the process of digitizing this, creating a comprehensive one-stop shop website, Ketchikan123.org, and also a super handy mobile app version as well. And that will hopefully be launched in June, coming up pretty soon. So these announcements will be shared on our Ketchikan Behavioral Health Task Force Facebook page. So if you don't follow that page yet, go ahead and make sure that happens. We also developed some creative strategies to support students and teachers. That started with a wellness room at K-High, and then followed up with wellness rooms at Schoenbar and also at Revilla, that we're just in the final stages of developing that. Again, to develop a peaceful place of solace for faculty and staff at those schools so that they have a chance to take a break, to recharge, to have a little mindful moment so that they can go back out in what was especially stressful year as faculty and staff members. We had a couple of mental health first aid trainings that happened early in the year, and then the focus shifted then to really planning strategies for post-COVID world, We had one youth mental health first aid training, which is for adults who work with, live with, care for young people. We did that virtually in March, just recently, and we're starting to have some more of those in person starting up now, which is wonderful. We have continued partnerships, again, with our radio partners, KRBD, KTKN, and also the Ketchikan Daily News. So then 2021 started. That's when I jumped on board. We have identified multiple goals that drive this year. We as a task force, we're still refining them. We've already accomplished some of these goals, which is really exciting. One is to increase our social media footprint, and this is to share information based on survey data that shows that most people in town get most of their information from word of mouth or from social media, specifically Facebook. So, fun fact, we have increased our Facebook engagement by 13,000%, which is not a typo. Ooh. It's just like a fun thing, mostly just because we're posting every day. So that's pretty fun. Fun little data blurb. So we're posting every day. We're hosting some social media challenges, raffles, giveaways, fun ways to engage and share this information. So again, Ketchikan Behavioral Health Task Force Facebook page. So I'm going to say that about 7 more times. We're also goal to increase community engagement by thinking creatively, thinking a little bit outside the box, using our social media platforms, using the visibility of our office location and the windows that we have, creating window displays, hanging banners, using the visibility of our vehicles. Those lawn ornaments were a big hit. Hopefully we'll have more in-person events, wellness fairs, the Blueberry Festival, which is exciting, wearable KWC branded stuff, so for staff members, for task force, for governing board, whoever's interested, looking for that too. Healthy Minds columns, a goal to have those published every month. We are 4 for 4 so far this year, which is exciting. Thank you to those who have submitted. If you have a personal story you want to share, self-care tips that you use, general health and wellness tips, reach out to us and let us know. We're also hoping to increase our task force participation. So with the move to virtual, participation started to lag, not without, or not a result of lack of interest, but people's plates just got full. So we actually have 3 new folks who are going to be joining our task force, replacing other folks whose plates have just become overburdened. We have 2 high school students that are going to join the task force, which is also exciting, adding a new perspective. And then hopefully once we start to meet in person, we'll sort of revitalize the work of that task force. I will come back, you'll see me again later in the show, for mention about our youth support, but increasing youth engagement, youth support programming is a big deal, is a big part of our task force efforts as well. We have, coming down the road later this year, our task force is really committed to collaborating in discussion about historical trauma and institutional racism. So we will be collaborating with community leaders, local experts, and those interested who are, those who are just interested in learning more about historical trauma and institutional racism. So you'll hear more later this year about that. And then big news, we are just about ready to launch that mobile app. So again, in June, we will have some fun ways to engage, fun ways, you'll find all the information you need, again, on my Facebook page, the Ketchikan Behavioral Health Task Force. And then just real quick, most immediately, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's right around the corner. So again, it's an important period of time for our task force, and an important effort to address our mission to decrease stigma associated with depression and mental illness. So we have a social media challenge that's starting all month to engage on that Facebook page, which you already know what the name of it is. We have a free aromatherapy workshop for moms the day before Mother's Day, so Saturday. It's going to be here in our youth space at the plaza from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. to noon. Again, information will be all shared. We have an opportunity called Caring for Caregivers, which is an opportunity for us to celebrate the caregivers in our community. Details TBD. We have a couple radio shows on KRBD and KTKN. The Ketchikan Public Library is putting up a display for us, selected literary support resources, our community resources. So that'll be out at the library all month as well. We have teen mental health first aid training. We have really started to address this main goal that we had last year, which was put on hold with COVID. Right now, we're halfway through getting 3/4 of the 10th grade class at K-High trained. So by the end of May, most of the current sophomores at K-High will be trained and certified in teen mental health first aid, which is a huge accomplishment, huge one of our goals from previous years. And they're sort of piloting right now. We'll get the rest of the current sophomores when they're juniors next fall, hopefully our Revilla students as well, so that this can be an annual sustainable training. And then final thing, we have a community post-vention training that's planned for the end of May, which is to support efforts in developing a community response to a death by suicide. So this is also some really critical, important work that we're going to be doing together as community members. So it's evident the task force remains actively engaged in our community, adapting, responding to the community's needs, supporting efforts of our community partners, and working to support everyone's health and wellness. So I'm happy to be a part of it, excited for the work that's ahead. Question from the Facebook world.
Yes, so Jocelyn Stanley is wondering if you could speak to any data regarding homelessness in the community.
Jocelyn, that's a great question. And in this moment, I cannot. However, I have had some conversations with some local partners, and that's one of the additional work efforts that we're going to be pursuing in this coming year for sure. Thanks, Jocelyn.
And that is all of the questions so far.
Great.
Great, yay, thank you. And as a follow-up to that, we do have the community health needs assessment that did have specific data showing about homelessness, and so that can be found on our website, ktnwc.org, and you can find out more information from last fall's assessment of our community. So thank you so much, Kristen. That was a lot. Isn't that amazing what's going on in this community? Super exciting for what's coming down the pipeline. Huge thanks to Kristen for joining our team during Christmas. Great time. And really just, it's a wonderful task force that's so committed to the mental wellness of our community. So we thank everyone that does come to that task force. If you're interested in joining that task force or any of the ones that are going to come present, please do reach out to us. One thing to note, this task force is funded by a state grant from the Department of Health and Social Services. So that is why we do have a staff member dedicated to facilitating this task force. Another staff member that I'm about to introduce is Carlos Weimer, and he facilitates the Peers Task Force. So I'll tell you a little bit more about how it became Peers, and we'll hear what's been exciting for them in that task force. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda, board, community. So nice to be here. I am the program coordinator for the group funded by the Drug-Free Communities Grant. And our mission is to work to reduce or prevent harms of alcohol and other drug use through education, intervention, and advocacy. And our vision is a community where we prevent alcohol and substance misuse, support recovery, and confront stigma. So, first exciting thing is actually the name change, Peers. So, some of you listening out there and in here might remember the name of the old group, which was the Substance Abuse Task Force. We are now called Peers, and that stands for Prevention, Intervention, Education, Recovery, and Support. And now I'm just going to probably pretty quickly roll over the highlights of 2020, and then say a couple things that we're looking forward to this year. The first on the list we received a renewed grant in 2019 for 5 more years for the DFC grant, so that's very exciting. We get 5 more years to put out some good materials, education, and support those in our community needing some assistance. Next, I want to talk about Prevention Week. Prevention Week last year, I wasn't around for it last year, but it was a huge hit. I've seen the videos on YouTube as well. If you haven't seen the prevention videos, you want to check out the Ketchikan Wellness website. Go to the peers link and look for the Prevention Week videos. So they featured locals here in town talking about trials and errors and just information. They're really good. You really want to catch them if you haven't already. Next, Stomp the Stigma March and Resource Rally happens in September every year, the last couple of years. The Peers Group supports that event, and we look forward to doing it in the coming year and in the future. Red Ribbon Week, and this is right around the time where I came in and started. This was my first big event. Really liked it. I'm looking forward to next year. The event, we delivered over 1,500 fun items with Be Happy, Be Brave, and Drug Free. That theme was posted and printed on all the items in the bags and delivered to all middle school and elementary kids here in town. So that was a big deal, and we're proud of that accomplishment. Just recently, last week, we partnered with Safeway Pharmacy, the Ketchikan Police Department, Rotary Interact, and Ketchikan Youth Alliance, as well as Alaskan and Proud. Here we gave out over 60 drug deactivation kits, referred individuals to the police station to remind them that there's a drug take-back bin available 24/7, 7 days a week. So that was a good event. We're looking forward to that next year as well. We were also successfully able to get all of our staff trained in Narcan training. Narcan training is, Narcan is used in opioid overdoses. And so we're happy to be doing that this year, and we'll have some events posted on the website and links to share. So you'll want to sign up for that if you're not already. Narcan can save a life, so we want everyone that can be trained in that to be trained. We also supported the creation of this space here, which is our youth space. So we're very proud of that accomplishment. And then finally, we have some public outreach and education campaigns that we used: radio, PSAs, posters, banners. You can see, maybe some of you have seen the banner out at Esther Shea Field, over at Fawn Mountain. And those campaigns included Keep Them Safe, Trusted Adult, and our Drug Take Back campaigns. Now for 2021, some of the things that we're looking forward to is the Eskimo Ninja. So this is super cool. So our very own Alaskan winner of the American Ninja Warrior. So some of you guys have seen that show on TV. A very local Alaskan winner called the Eskimo Ninja will be coming to Ketchikan in October. So clear your dates for that.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so that'll be great. And so there'll be school-based activities and community-based activities for everyone. So hope to see you guys there for that. We're also planning in this space right here to have an interactive bedroom where we can show parents and adults some signs that may show that their teen or person in their house may be using substances. So we'll have hopefully we'll have a bedroom in here and show you some tips and tricks on how to find substance use issues. And then finally, like I said, we're looking forward to Narcan trainings this year, and that's going to be a big push, is to get everyone that we can certified in Narcan training. And then of course we'll be continuing our education and outreach. And I said it'd be brief. That's all I got for right now. So thank you so much, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Carlos. And that is, Peers is supported in funding through our federal Drug-Free Communities grant. Our next guest, super grateful that Steve Haber is able to join us. He's here as a tri-chair of the Reentry Coalition. The Reentry Coalition is a grant that we received from the State of Alaska Department of Health and Social Services, and Steve Hayburn is a tri-chair member, here to speak in replacement of Jeff Bullock, who is the coordinator, who was not able to attend. So Steve, thank you so much for showing up and giving us a summary of what's been going on.
Hi, thank you. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming tonight, and thank you for tuning in, Facebook world. Talk to you briefly about the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition and also the Reentry Housing. We've been at it since the 1st of March, and they've been at capacity since then. There's quite just a little bit, a few beds down out there. If we have more beds, like 5 to 10 more, we could definitely fill those. The need has been there. I've been out to the housing quite a few times with my other probation officers that I work with, and it's a really nice setup they have out there. Great living environment for the need that needs to be there. I have a girl out there right now who needed some housing before she went to treatment. She applied. Jeff applied, approved her through the process, and she's now out there until she leaves to go to treatment next week. So even though it's a short stay, it's a much needed stay for them to start doing that transition process. In the coming weeks, the Reentry Coalition is being a group at the Pilot House Coffee for re-entrants to discuss some of the issues they face and how to deal with them. It's also going to be a brainstorming session as to what types of needs they need day to day. Everybody's needs are different with everybody that's coming out of KCC or another facility that's come back to Ketchikan, Alaska. We're looking to do this every week, every other week, and on the weeks we're not doing this group, they'll be offering groups for families of re-entrants and family of incarcerated inmates and families of those getting ready to do time. Some people have delayed rebands that the court has worked out with what their cases are. So some of those will have to be reported to like October or November this year. So that's what they're going to be doing with that. This group will be just discuss what issues they face and talk to them about while their family is incarcerated. So there'll be a need for that family as well to help them survive while their family members incarcerated. There'll be the groups are more of a fellowship and discussion as well. So Jeff gave me all these talking points tonight. I will try to answer as much questions as I can. I know I've watched Jeff behind the scenes. Granted, I don't spend a lot of time with him. I am on a tri-chair, but sometimes my duties don't allow me to go and be with them like I need to. But I am watching from afar, and I see things, especially this housing. It's great. This community has needed this for quite a while, and the need is there to expand that. So if there was any way that we could get funding for more housing, that would definitely help out this community.
Thanks so much,
Thank you
Steve.
so
I
much.
really appreciate that.
Thank
And
you,
thanks for
everyone.
coming
Thank you.
tonight. And we're so grateful because the Mental Health Trust was the organization, the foundation that funded this housing opportunity. And so there are 5 people that are able to access that at any one time, which is amazing. And just mentioning that the Reentry Coalition, their purpose is to heal through transformative support of individuals leaving incarceration, and that's really what their purpose is. Jeff Bullock does offer navigation services, so he's currently working with 15 individuals on a one-to-one basis to support them as they leave incarceration to really make the steps forward to get their life back in the direction that they want them. I'm super excited to welcome another staff member. Jade Myers is going to be showing or telling you a little bit about one of our volunteer-led task forces. So this next task force does not have a grant associated with it in particular. So Jade has been working a lot with them in support of them, and so she gets to share with some really exciting things through the Building Healthy Communities Task Force.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jade, and I'm here to fill you in about the Building a Healthy Community Task Force. So their mission and vision are to partner together for a healthier community and promoting a healthy lifestyle through education and action. Now they've got 4 focus areas that are priorities: childhood obesity, healthy eating, increasing fitness, and family activities, which are all really great goals. So in 2020, our biggest thing, you might have seen it, you might have gotten it under a tree, you might still want to buy it and not know where. We finished our lovely cookbooks, and these are really fantastic because they have community submitted photos, community submitted stories, and over 50 community submitted recipes that we've been able to include in this cookbook that entirely focuses on local ingredients that you can forage, hunt, or fish. We also sold over 150 copies between individuals and some local business partners, which is really exciting. So for 2021, our biggest goal is to work on our community gardens. That's sort of the thing that we're rolling out right now. You already missed the priority deadline for a membership application for our garden beds, and the Commons location is all filled up, but we do still have a lot of spots available for Clover Pass. So if you're interested, we've got beds, berry pots, climbing beds, all sorts of good stuff where you can dig in and get your hands dirty, and you can apply on our website or stop by and pick up an application in person if that works better for you. And there are 3 garden locations. So we've got the Commons, like I mentioned, outside of Clover Pass Church, and then we've also got Rendezvous. And at the Commons, we also have a fantastic seed vault where you can stop by and pick up seeds to start your own garden at home. If you're interested in gardening but you don't want to commit to a whole bed, you can also volunteer. We have a couple of opportunities coming up. Clover Pass on May 1st and May 8th. The Commons, those are both going to be sort of bed raising days where we go out and we build these beds that the community members are going to be using, which is wonderful. And those are funded by the Ketchikan Community Foundation and Peace Health, which is very exciting. One other thing that we're going to work on this year is, thanks to a grant from RYC, we are going to improve the disc golf course over at Point Higgins Elementary School. And I hear rumors of a tournament to follow those improvements. And that's all for me, but thank you so much. And Romanda's going to come talk about the Health Equity Grant for a little bit. Thanks, Romanda.
Thank you so much, Jade. Yay! Doesn't that sound so much fun? If you haven't tried the cookbook, one of my recipes is in there. You guys should try it. It's really good. And I also just wanted to mention that KPU actually was the one who's going to fund the tournament for the disc golf. So thank you to KPU for funding the prizes for that. Okay, so I don't actually have a slide for the health equity, but that's okay. I just want to share that we are so excited that Robert Woods Johnson Foundation granted us $300,000 over 3 years to undertake a health equity activities. And specifically, we're looking to improve health access and health outcomes of our Filipino population. We've partnered with Peace Health as a lead health systems organizer. And a lot of our Filipino community members, we're so grateful for them for all of their contributions. And looking to change our health systems in Ketchikan to better respond and be culturally responsive and adaptive to our community members. So very exciting. We are hiring for a coordinator for this program, and so if you are interested in working with us, we'd love to have you. The application, the job description can be found on the website. So that was one of our most exciting kind of grant funds this year, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Next, I get to welcome up Kate Kovars from the Imagination Library. This woman single-handedly came to me and said, "We're doing this." And she has been a driver in making the Imagination Library come to Ketchikan. So I look forward to introducing Kate to you, and she'll share a little bit about what the program is and where you guys are going.
Thank you, Amanda. This is Diane Gubatayo's grandchild receiving their first Imagination Library book. So that is just so cute and so delightful, and just what joy I think the Imagination Library is. I will pause for a moment and just absolutely commend the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition, because I asked around to a couple different nonprofits and said, "Hey, I need a partner here. Can you help?" And folks were taxed, and then Romanda said, "Of course." And then the board said, "Sure," and had great questions and made sure that we were on the right track. And so I appreciate that, and I've seen great things that have come out of the Wellness Coalition over the last several years, and it's awesome to see the progress here, and I am proud to be a task force underneath that. So thank you, Romanda. Thank you, board. For those of you that don't know, the Imagination Library is a free book gifting program to children from age 0, so birth, to their 5th birthday, and they graduate out at age 5. This program has no qualifiers whatsoever. You just need to register, and for us, the qualifier is being in the Ketchikan area. So Ketchikan and Ward Cove are the zip codes that we service. Now the rest of Alaska, for the most part, is serviced under an Imagination Library, so any child, for the most part, throughout Alaska can access these services. We are just the Imagination Library in Ketchikan. This book gifting program is supported by the Dollywood Foundation, so Dolly Parton, bless her wonderful soul, saw the need to increase childhood literacy in her home county in Sevierville, Tennessee, and then expanded that throughout. And so for us to be able to bring a Imagination Library to Ketchikan, we're responsible for the registrations and the fundraising for getting books into a child's hands. So book like Little Engine the rest of the overhead, the rest of like the logistics, the book ordering, all of that goes through the Dollywood Foundation, making this a really phenomenal and relatively easy task force to operate. And so we launched technically with the task force in December of 2020, so we're very new, and our first registrations began in January of 2021. And those registrations, since then, we've registered about 168 Ketchikan children, which is about 20% of the eligible population. So we have about 750-ish children aged 0 to 5, so we're at about 20% of that. The registration is happening through a handful of different sources. Facebook is a big one for a lot of folks, and we routinely share out the registrations. Another one is registration forms are in every newborn packet at Peace Health Labor and Delivery, every 1-year packet at our pediatric office at Peace Health, and then also through Community Connections. Parnassus has registrations, Public Library has registrations, Ketchikan Correctional Center has registrations, and then continuing to work with, I'm trying to get my foot in the door with a couple other folks and just making sure that we're connecting with the right people to get those registration forms. So because our goal right now is to reach about 60 to 70% of the eligible population, so around 500 children. Now that's a national average, so nationally well-established Imagination Libraries have between 60 and 70% of their eligible populations registered. That's our goal, gearing toward that 70, 80%. And to do that, we just need to continue to expand some of those registrations and making sure we're catching kids at birth. But with that goal, that also means we need to increase our fundraising, obviously. Just $30 will give one child a book each month for a whole year, so it's a really economical and affordable process. But if we reach that 500 or so benchmark, we're looking at about an annual operating cost of about $15,000 a year. We're currently achieving our goal, so we were able to start with a grant from RYC, and my family opted to match that grant, and then we've also received some donations from other families here in town, some smaller and larger. The Alkire family was a generous donor this winter, so we're grateful to them. And the donations that we started out with will fund us for at least 1 year. Best Beginnings in Anchorage also helps support Imagination Libraries across the state. We have applied for a grant with them, and we'll continue to apply for several grants. I have gone way longer than I expected to, so I'll wrap this up here. Our task force is currently about 3 folks. Myself, Diane Gubitayo has jumped on board, and another community member. We're looking to expand to a couple more members. Right now, our primary responsibilities are registrations and fundraising. And so one of the big things that we will be launching here in the next couple of months is a semi-regular newsletter that goes out to all families that are currently registered. It'll also go out to our donors, but it'll mostly be hey, this is how you can engage with your child and reading to them a little bit more. Here's what we're offering. Here's what you can do. Here's how you share this information with your fellow parents. And then here's how you can donate if you're so inclined. And so that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, I'm again grateful to the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition to operate an Imagination Library. We had to have a nonprofit partner to get the awesome rates that we can get on shipping through the Dollywood Foundation. So, nonprofit partner, Ketchikan Wellness Coalition, the board. That is it. I'm welcome questions, but I think this covers a good chunk of it. Right?
Thank you so much, Kate. I cannot wait to register this little one in just a few months, so that'll be fun. So thank you so much, Kate. Next is up is Austin Odos, who's who's actually a board member of ours. He's going to present on behalf of the Island Recycles Task Force. Their members were not able to attend tonight, so Austin's going to share a little bit about what's the plan, what they have achieved, and where they're going with that. So Austin, thank you so much for doing that.
Yes, thank you on Facebook. So I'm standing in for Joy Fallon and Hannah Bales, who kind of oversee the Island Recycles. Right now it's on hiatus, much like some other organizations that have community events. They strictly rely on community events that are going on, and COVID has interrupted that. They're going to start when we get back to normalcy, whatever that is. And so in spring 2020, Island Recycle members assisted in the KHI Environmental Club. They paired up with each other, and they designed a trash can to be placed in schools for recycling and whatnot.
Do you see it?
Yes, that. Yes. Gotcha. And so this is in 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
They did a water hydration station at the Blueberry Arts Festival, and we just learned that they're going to do it hopefully again this year, because the Blueberry Arts Festival is going to be taking place again on August 7th. And lastly, they want to continue to work with the KHI Environmental Club to bring education to students. They want to do things on social media to promote recycling, and have a continuous annual campaign to this fall to help the KHI Environmental Club kind of promote recycling and other environmental friendly initiatives. So you can still recycle even though COVID is happening. I know the dump takes a lot of recycled goods. So thank you.
Do you want to just stay up there and do
Oh,
the next one?
yes.
You're also next.
I'm also filling in for the Strengthening Cultural Unity Task Force.
The arrow. Yep.
Boom. So they are on a hiatus as well because they usually do a summer camp program. That's like a youth camp. It's usually around 30 kids or so that's not going to happen this summer. But a big goal is to host a community-wide celebration of culture event, whether that's in virtual or in person, hopefully this fall maybe, or still in planning. So very simple thing.
Great. Thank you so much, Austin, for filling in. And then our last presenter for the task force tonight is Kristen again. Yay. She's been working with our Ketchikan Youth Alliance, which is a new task force, I guess we could call them. They do partner with a lot of the other task forces for various reasons, but Kristen's going to share a little bit about what's been going on.
What's been going on?
Hi, you missed me. So I want to share about the Ketchikan Youth Alliance, a little bit also about just youth programming that we've been able to support in town. I know we've had some mention of it in some of the previous task force conversations, but it seems like there's been a great deal of support, of focus supporting the health and wellness of our youth, and gratefully the impact of COVID, I think, has refocused our attention on youth mental health. And so I'm excited to be a part of it. I know that we all are excited about this. So I mentioned before, we had our Sharing Peace Together art installation. We have some youth court partnerships that we're working on with our Ketchikan Youth Alliance kids, our wellness rooms, lots of efforts to support youth. This space, our youth space at the plaza was opened in October. Lots of decoration, lots of growth in the space, from just offering a couple of activities a week to now we're open 5 days a week, every day after school. We have offerings, some facilitated activities, we have open hours, high school kids are welcome Mondays and Fridays. We now offer middle school activities and open hours Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you don't need to register, you can just come on down, Suite 203, after school every day. And then our KYA kids, we meet weekly on Wednesdays. The group is not closed. We are welcoming kids who are in high school, who are engaged in their community, who want to be engaged, who want to develop leadership skills, who want to have a positive impact on Ketchikan and do some really wonderful, wonderful projects. So you're welcome to join us, high school kids, on Wednesdays. Just know that the meeting is happening. So, so there's that. Okay, so Ketchikan Youth Alliance was started by Maria, our AmeriCorps Vista volunteer, and also in partnership with J.D. Martin from Wish. So props to them for creating not just this super comfortable, cozy physical space for the group to meet, but also they established the foundation for an emotionally safe space for these social justice warriors to learn, to take risks, to grow as they work together to improve their community. So I got a couple quotes from some KYA members, some of these kiddos in these pictures. The KYA members shared that they're grateful for the safe place to talk about real world issues. They love being a part of such a supportive, loving, and hardworking group, and that they want to simultaneously take what they've learned and teach other people, and also support the positive changes in this community as well. So, and we at KWC, we're grateful to offer them this safe space to discuss and explore sensitive issues. We're grateful to offer mentorship and guidance as they tackle some challenging projects. And then also to facilitate connections with other valuable resources in the community, and that includes people, that includes trainings and funding to develop their leadership skills. So then huge congratulations for this group they've been working together for 6 months, and they have just received a Spirit of Youth Humanitarian Award, which is a really big deal. It's a really wonderful statewide honor to receive this award, and specifically receiving this award to address, for their work to address the gaps that they have identified in their school handbook. Specifically, they're working to include more specific language about discrimination and hate speech into that document. So they've already written some really incredibly articulate and detailed drafts. They've started to contact some board members, some school board members. They're preparing an official formal presentation to the school board. And then we're also looking ahead to what the fall education campaign looks like, as the students hopefully will share the rollout of this new policy to other students, share with their classmates, specifically to encourage their classmates to be upstanders with regard to hateful language and discrimination. So I'm really proud to be an adult mentor for this group, meeting with them. They're a wonderful, wonderful group of young people, and the future is bright with these kiddos in it. So
Awesome. Thank you. Yay. So many exciting things. So I almost got teary-eyed thinking just how proud I am to be working with the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition. So really glad to have been able to listen to everything that's been going on. Oh, there was a question. I'd love to answer it.
We have a couple of general questions that have come
I
in.
can do my best.
Okay. The first one is there a newsletter that people can access?
Fabulous question. Yes, Jade, who was here earlier, she puts together our, it's about every 2 months newsletter, and if you'd like to sign up, go onto our website. It says sign up for our newsletter. If you can't find that, you can always just give us a call. Calling is better. I'd say text us, but that's hard. We don't have a text thing.
What is your website?
Website is, if you Google us, Ketchikan Wellness Coalition, it's
So
actually
just
easier.
Google you.
Just Google us, but it is ktnwc.org. And maybe we can type that into the
comments?
The comments.
Absolutely.
Box after,
Yep.
to have that available. So yes, we do. It's every 2 months is what we're trying to aim for, because there's so many things happening. We're able to share it all the time.
And then you mentioned earlier there were some open positions for hiring. People are
Yes.
wondering, what is that position?
Yes, it's a health equity program coordinator. So similar to Carlos and Kristen, who were up here earlier, you facilitate a task force. You would be partnering with a really amazing team of individuals who are already engaged in the health equity program. Your focus would be on improving health access for our Filipino community and changing the health systems to be more culturally responsive. And it's a fabulous opportunity. The description is really quite clear. If anybody has any questions and would like to talk to me a little bit more about what does that look like, they're welcome to call the office, and I'm happy to chat to them more about that. But the job description is on there, and it is facilitating the Robert Woods Johnson Foundation grant activities that we're going to be
Great.
undertaking.
Are there any other grants that people need to know about? Someone did comment about what is the grant. I know that you covered that earlier, so it seems like you've got it covered, just in
Yeah.
case there's anything else.
Yeah, I would say take a peek on the website, and then this is a brand new, the Health Equity Grant from Robert Woods Johnson is one of their brand new grants. So they've not ever run it before. So we're just getting some more information, like materials to be able to put out for that.
Great.
Yeah.
And I see Misha just shared your website in the
Thank you,
comments,
Misha,
so
for
thank you,
doing
Misha.
Great board member, right?
Yeah, she's on it.
Any other questions?
That's it. Thank
Great.
you.
So fabulous. We're coming to close to the end. I'm really excited to invite Charlotte Glover, our Vice President of the board, up again to share a little bit about our membership. So as a coalition, membership is the foundation of what we do. So I'm going to have Charlotte here share a little bit more about how to become a member.
So you can see the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition has a wide variety of activities that you can participate in, and membership is really essential to this nonprofit and every nonprofit, both because we need boots on the ground, we need helping hands, but we also need financial support for various reasons. Financial support gives you unrestricted funds that you can have a little bit more leeway into how you spend them, because when you're spending grant money, you have really restricted line items and spending categories. And financial support also shows your grantees, your grantors, that you have community support. And as we always say at public radio, even your $5 makes a huge difference, because it's not just the amount of money that a nonprofit raises, it's the number of members that make an impact when you're writing grants. And the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition has historically been a coalition of like-minded individuals coming together to participate in task force. But moving forward, we really need to demonstrate that we have lots of individuals in Ketchikan that support our work. And that work at the grassroots level can be as simple as writing a check or making a donation on our website. We're reintroducing our membership program. It's been dormant for a while, and we want to introduce it so that individuals and organizations can join us by making an annual investment in our different membership levels. We've got sustaining memberships and various membership levels, and we love the names that our staff have come up with. We've got individual memberships at the Health Hero level for $25, Prevention Partner at $50, Wellness Wonder at $100. So we're not trying to break the bank here. We just need you to join our work and show your support. As we say, raising of the hands. For sustaining membership, you've got bronze level, silver, and gold. And of course, there's a variety of membership benefits that you get for each of these levels. You can find out lots more about how to support the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition and how to become a member, of course, on our website, or call us at 225-WELL, which is 9355 to learn more. Or just come by the office. The office is next to the best hot chocolate on the island. So you can come by to 55 North and grab a hot chocolate and stop by at the office down the hall. That's probably the easiest way to explain where our office is. And you can just come by and drop off a check if you want, or say hi. So as we often say, we can pay by cash check, a credit card, or pledge now and pay later, but we'd love to have you join the work we do in whatever way you can support us. So thank you for considering it.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. I appreciate that. And so speaking of finances, we do have Grant Echohawk, who is our board treasurer, who's going to share a little bit about an overview of our financial health right now. So I'm excited to welcome him. He's a brand new board member, and he's graciously stepped into this role. So thank you so much, Grant. Come on up. I got your slide here for you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Grant Echohawk, and as Amanda mentioned, I'm relatively new to the board, and just absolutely thrilled to be part of this organization and all of the amazing work that's being done. So I'm going to talk about how it gets done, which is our funding through grants, and as Charlotte mentioned, donations make a big help, are a huge help, and then even the cookbook, if you haven't purchased one yet, and there's great recipes in there, little things like that make all the difference in the world. But a couple of things I want to touch on is because the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition is primarily funded by grants, the COVID impact was not nearly as impactful for us as some other organizations. So we've been able to sustain our expenses to meet our income was able to meet all of our expense needs, and so that's encouraging, and that is something that's going to help us maintain these programs. But as we do proceed forward, we do want to diversify our income portfolio. This is where it comes into things like donations, sustaining membership, things like that. Now, when we're talking about this, because I am a numbers guy, I enjoy looking at numbers. When Romanda had mentioned that there may be a pie chart involved, I tried to keep it pretty cool. Thrilled by this pie chart. It's fantastic. So what this is, this just kind of breaks down the income by our different, where they're coming from. Our state and federal grants make up the bulk, as you can see, as I mentioned, that's what's really keeping us sustained. And then we also get some foundation grants. And then I'm just gonna again talk about on the Robert Woods Johnson grant, which is a huge grant, $300,000. I know it's been mentioned a couple of times, but you know, the partnership that KWC has with Peace Health in making this grant happen, and some of the folks that were involved with Peace Health was absolutely fantastic and just a huge help to the community. So I'm really thrilled about that. Some other things, just for some other kind of some new expenses. This space ends up being something that we took on last year. A little bit more, you know, just a little bit more expense added to the line item, as well as the insurance to keep the space going. So that added a little bit, but again, we were able to keep that covered with the income that we had. And then a couple other things that we have when it comes to expenses. As with most organizations, our personnel is going to be one of our top line items, but our program and task force expenditures, that really makes up the bulk of everything we do. And as you can see with all the amazing programs that we have, we're making sure that the money that comes in is being sent right back into the community and is being used in all these fantastic programs, like the community garden, like the youth space, and then as well as we do move forward, we're going to be, as a board and as a collective, be looking at different funding sources, again, to diversify the what's coming in, to make sure that we can even have more flexibility to do even more within the community. And that's pretty much all I had, but before I do break, I do want to quickly plug the Ketchikan Behavioral Health Task Force on the Facebook page. So if you want to get in and click that, that'd be fantastic. Any questions for me?
Cool. J.R. Green says Grant is awesome. That is what is coming.
All right.
I know, we're so happy.
And while we're on the topic of finances, can we just talk for 1 minute, especially because we have a local government representative in the audience, about how awesome it is to take $31,000 in local contribution and turn it into $500,000.
Yeah.
When people say nonprofits don't deserve money or support, that's what happens when nonprofits get money and support and the right staff and the right opportunities. It turns into real money coming back to Ketchikan, supporting Ketchikan families, supporting Ketchikan programs and Ketchikan youth. That is an impressive year, and we need to thank Romanda Simpson, our director, for this incredible year we've had. Give her a round of applause. It's been, in the many years that I've been either directly involved or tangentially involved in Ketchikan Wellness Coalition, this has been like a rocket ship this year of accomplishment. And we could not be happier to be in this place where we're building and growing and making a real difference in our community. So I hope that you guys can feel how excited we are about the work that the coalition is doing, and find a place to join us, whether it's digging in the dirt or trying out some new recipes or putting packets together for kids in the schools, doing a program here in one of our open spaces. We have so much that you can participate with. And we thank you this evening for joining us, learning more about our work, and hope you'll be here for the next chapter.
Great. Thank you so much.